What's going on, Gin Pros family? Thank you for joining us tonight on a Monday evening. We're back. It's kind of, rapid succession. After Sunday, we get right into Monday, and we're back. So we're back live. Tony, how we doing, man?
John J, baby. It's another Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. I mean, what more could you? Birds are chirping. It's another Midwestern summer. It's 35 degrees outside. I had a great day today, and looking forward to today's stream. Got
a big docket planned for you guys today. Deal with a little bit of technical difficulties before and, during the intro of the stream. So bear with us. Big Tech is at it again, fighting back, and they're giving us resistance.
Dan Dockich!
Dan Dockich is most certainly to blame. I blame only him, and that's it. Figure it out, Dan. So we'll get right into it. Let's talk about Madison Bumgarner's no-hitter. So, Tony, give us a little bit of backstory on why this, has been such a big controversy.
Well, here's what I'm going to do off the rip. Okay, I'm going to read you word for word what the definition of a no-hitter is. Okay, word for word. I'm not going to paraphrase. I'm not going to add a little bit of beeper flavor to it. I'm just going to read you the definition. Okay, a complete pitcher yields no hits to the opposing team. That is a no-hitter. It doesn't say anything about 9 innings. It doesn't say anything about 2 innings. It doesn't say anything about what. It doesn't say a complete game, a game that was scheduled to start, and a game that was scheduled to end with no hits, 0. And Madison Bumgarner did that yesterday against the Braves. And Robert Manfred, that little troll, that little scumbag, doesn't give Madison Bumgarner his no-hitter that he absolutely 100% deserves. When you go out, John, I don't care if it's 1 inning, 4 innings, 15 innings, 2. If you go out there and you don't allow the other team to get a hit, what should that be called?
A no-hitter. It's plain and simple. It's not up for debate. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts about it. To give anybody, any single individual, that much power and be able to call that a no-hitter, that's too much power. That's too much power. And I think that there's less controversy saying that it is a no-hitter than saying that it's not a no-hitter. So a lot of controversy there.
Right.
And obviously controversy is in our blood. So it would be a sin if we did not cover it. So that's why we're talking about it.
I mean, listen, it's not his fault that it was a doubleheader. It's not his fault it was 7 innings. All he was told to do is, hey, listen here, kid. Listen, Madison, which is the worst name for a guy I've ever heard in my entire life, by the way. But, hey, listen, I wonder if they call him Matty. Hey, Matty, just go out there and do your thing. And he goes out there and he throws a no-no. And then the MLB wants to punish him for it. It's like the MLB is spitting in his face for going out there and throwing a no-hitter. It's absolutely mind-blowing, and that's why Major League Baseball will never advance to the heights of the NFL or the NBA because they do stupid things like this. To me, this is the same category as them wanting to ban bat flips after home runs. Like, they just try to make the game so less exciting that people don't want to watch anymore. And to me, if I knew my guy's going out there on the bump for a 7-inning game and he has a possibility to throw a no-hitter and they're not going to count it, I'm not going to tune in. Forget it. What's the point?
Yeah, at that point, what's the pitcher fighting for?
Right.
You want to have that little icing on the cake. It's worth more than just winning the game. Having a successful defensive stand. You're allowing. You're making the job real easy on the entire defense by doing that. And I think that's more than deserving of the no-hitter reward. And to not get that is an absolute travesty. And I feel for him, but it is what it is. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Padres defeating the Dodgers after 9 innings. So coming back from 7-1, then 7-2, coming all the way back, fighting it all the way into extra innings and making it a game. What do you have to say about this? I was watching it, started watching it into the ninth inning. I saw the top of the ninth and I saw the bottom of the ninth where the Padres had to make a defensive stand and not let any runs pass. They tied it at 7 after the top of the inning. And really great performance by the Padres. And both teams really fought. They battled. There's a lot of 3-2 counts. I watched the entire game all the way to the brutal, bitter end, and it was nice. So 1 sec before we get into this one, Tone, got a comment from Uncle John. Right on, Tony. Bumgarner is playing by the rules of making the game 7 innings. Hengo credit for the shutout and credit for the complete game, but not the no-hitter. MLB is as stupid as the Canadian government. Actually, I had to check to see if the Canadian government made that call. Wow. I've been hearing a lot of flack on the side of opposing the Canadian government, and I can't even see my head because the comment's so big. But listen, I feel that. I definitely see where he's coming from, and by them not opening the borders, I think they need to do that. I miss my family over there. I want to go over to Canada. We want to actually take Jen to Canada.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be a great trip to do. But Tony, I'll let you address this comment.
Well, listen,
personally.
He's spot on. I mean, the MLB will give him credit for a shutout. They'll give him credit for a complete game, but they're not going to give him credit for a no-hitter. So you're saying he went out there and threw a complete game. He started the game to end of the game. He completed it. But you throw the no-hitter and you're going to kick the guy in the shorts for that? I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. And again, that's why baseball is never going to, surpass basketball or football, because it's almost like they want to make the game as least popular as possible. And then they hold on to this notion of America's pastime. No one cares about that. No one cares about America's pastime anymore. They care about excitement. They care about thrilling games. And for this guy to go out there and throw a no-no and you don't give it to him, I mean, that's just absolutely asinine in my opinion.
Mama Bank or Sam Bank, what's the difference between not giving credit for the no-hitter and getting kicked in the nuts?
Absolutely zero. Absolutely no difference. I mean, they should have Madison Bumgarner should have just stood at the steps of the dugout, spread his legs, and been kicked in the nuts, because that's exactly what happened to him. Exactly.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't fair, and we won't beat a dead horse with it. We'll just kind of leave it at that. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Jim Joyce call, how he took that no-hitter from Justin Verlander back in the day. That one still hurts me. I still feel that. But listen, MLB, figure it out.
Figure it out. Golly.
So we'll go back to the topic at hand. Let me reshare my screen here. Here we go. So the Padres, they came back. If you look at this little win probability meter here, all the way until the bottom of the 8th, it was up to 97. I think it even hit 98% in the Dodgers' favor. And then it completely flipped the script and went in favor of the Padres going into the top of the 9th. And it was just a crazy game. You had to watch it to really experience what happened. And this has always been a dogfight. San Diego is considered the little brother in California when it comes to baseball teams. The Dodgers are obviously the more well-known, the more heavy-hitting big brother. And we won't get too much into that rivalry, but the rivalry exists, and it's very prevalent. And I saw it last night, and I was surprised to actually see the amount of fans that I saw. And it was impressive. I liked what I saw. There was a lot of tenacity. Both teams were battling, and the Padres came out on top.
Yeah, look, I mean, so these teams play 19 times this year, okay, which is almost, I mean, it's a big chunk of the schedule. And to me, we get 19 World Series-like games with watching these two. Both of these teams have a very, very strong chance at going to the World Series, and it's going to look like at some point they will meet in the NL playoffs. But listen, to me, this San Diego team was just absolutely fun as hell to watch. Obviously, Fernando Tatis Jr. is taking the MLB by storm. Probably, arguably the most exciting player to watch in today's MLB. And what I love about him is he's really relating to the younger crowd in baseball. You see the bat flips, you see him taunting pitchers, and that's the stuff that I like to see. I love the trash talk. I love the kind of in-your-face personality that he has, because baseball, frankly, is missing that, and baseball has, frankly, missed that for a very, very long time. And that's why you're really seeing, the interest in baseball go down, because there's no real big personalities. I guess you could kind of say Bryce Harper maybe a little bit, but not nearly what Tatis Jr. is doing. But listen, tough loss to the Dodgers. Frankly, I mean, you just can't lose games like that. You really can't. If you have a lead like that, you have to close the door, especially at a team like San Diego. Especially at a team like that, you can't leave the door cracked, because they will find a way to claw their way back into that thing and potentially win it like they did last night.
Yeah, you mentioned Tatis Jr. Absolutely crazy individual, very, very strong athlete. We were watching ESPN yesterday before this game, even, before the first pitch was thrown, and they went around the horn. I think we were watching ESPN yesterday, Tone, when you were at the house, and the question was asked to multiple MLB players: who is changing the game? Who really stands out to you as one of the biggest and most prominent players? Who's changing the game for the better? And almost all of them said Tatis Jr. It was pretty incredible. It was incredible to see.
But the thing is, though, man, is baseball needs that. Baseball needs that, almost like that villain where, he's kind of the bad boy. He's gonna talk. He's gonna talk smack. He's gonna taunt pitchers. Like last night, he was I can't think of the starting pitcher's name from last night, but he was taunting him last night. So like, you need guys like that, because that's going to make the game exciting. Let's be honest. Watching a baseball game from start to finish, it can get a little boring sometimes. I mean, let's just call that what it is. So if you have a guy that can create energy on his own, then that is fantastic. You see it in the NBA. You definitely see the big personalities in the NFL, but baseball, they don't allow it. They don't want you to do so. Like, to be honest, I like to see the bench clearing brawls. I like to see, the bat flips. I like to see that excitement, because that makes the game more fun to watch. And baseball really needs to take notes from Tatis Jr. and stop trying to suppress what he's trying to bring to baseball.
Definitely. Well said. And just to touch on the Dodgers for one more quick second, they had multiple opportunities in the bottom of extra innings to close that game out, and they just couldn't do it. So shows a lot of tenacity, shows a lot of firepower behind the entire Padres team. They did some shifting. They did some shuffling last night, ended up with different positions, went through quite a few pitchers, but they got the job done. So really impressive stuff. Let's move on. Let's talk about the NFL. Talk to me, Tone. A little bit of big news today in the NFL from all over the place. What's going on?
Yeah, so a couple headliners, whatever you want to call them. My beloved Dallas Cowboys veteran linebacker Shawn Lee is finally hanging up the cleats and retiring. Now, all of Dallas Cowboy Nation is bidding him farewell. Congratulations on a great career, this and that. Thank you so much for what you did. Listen, get out of here. See ya. Take it easy. He was hurt more times than he played. I bet he missed almost as many games as he played in a Cowboys jersey. And I'm glad he's gone. Get that headache the hell out of Dallas. He was one of Jerry Jones's pets and one of his favorite players. So he always got special treatment when it came to being in a Cowboy jersey, and I'm glad he's gone. 11 years was about 3 years too long, and I'm glad he's getting the hell out of there. But again, all these Cowboy faithful, they're blinded by the star in America's team, and they're congratulating. Again, was it a good career? Yeah, he played 11 seasons. Probably up there on the list when it comes to tackles. Yeah, he had a good career, but he was the most overhyped, overpaid player that the Cowboys had over the last few seasons. I'm so glad that he is retiring and leaving the Cowboys.
Yeah, you got to look at his career, what he's been able to do, but you also got to look at the future of the franchise. It's similar to a Matthew Stafford situation, I think, other than the fact that he's not retiring, but he has parted ways with the Lions, as we all know. We won't talk about the Lions too much. It's almost a forbidden word here at Gym Pros and here on their live streams. But Listen, it's similar scenario, and he has his accolades, but it's sometimes good to get a breath of fresh air and be like, all right, you did what you had to do. You did your part, and now it's time to take on some new ventures, and it's for the best. And
Right.
a lot of times it's for the better.
I think he'd be a great analyst. I think he'd be really good in the front office of an NFL team. I'm not discrediting him there. Dude, the injuries. Every season he missed 3-4 games every single year. And and as a middle linebacker, you have to be reliable. You have to be, everyone depends on you, especially at that middle linebacker spot. So I can't have you missing 3, 4, 5, 6 games a year. Just flat out can't have it.
Right on. What else is going on in the NFL? Is there something else going on that we should know about?
Yeah. So another kind of big story is the train wreck of the Atlanta Falcons. This is the most Atlanta Falcons story I think I've heard of since Purdy. You don't mean that, Purdy. I'm going to address that in a minute. I'm going to address that comment in a minute. So the most Atlanta Falcons story I could think of, other than them blowing a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. Rumors started to surface today, John, that they are shopping Julio Jones. They are now looking to get rid of Julio Jones. And it was kind of odd to me. It didn't make sense to me. Initially, it's kind of a question mark. That's their number one guy. He likes to be in Atlanta. He's obviously shown loyalty to that franchise. So you dive a little deeper into the story, and the Falcons are such a train wreck in the front office that they only have $1 million freed up in cap space. That's it. $1 million. Now, to us, the average Joe, $1 million is a lot of coin. Not when you have a 2021 upcoming, rookie class that you have to sign. So they have to free up cap space. They've already restructured all their big contracts. All their big contracts that they've already restructured. So they really don't have any other option. So their only option is to trade future Hall of Famer and their best player since probably Michael Vick, to trade him so they have enough cap space to sign to sign their rookie class. Absolutely the most Atlanta Falcons story that could ever be put out there.
Yeah, you look at the Atlanta Falcons just from an objective perspective, and it's just really been a train wreck ever since, you can even look back to 2019 and see all the wrongdoings. And there's something going on in the back office and the higher ups. They're sitting, in their comfy offices making decisions all day long. And you question what's going on in those meetings, what's going on in those different, boardroom conferences. What are we talking about? What are we dealing with? And the right decisions are not being made. I think that the wrong people are in high up positions, and it's really affecting the franchise, and the fans are noticing, and NFL fans everywhere are noticing. So it's a mess. They got a lot of figuring out to do.
So they have the number 4th pick in the draft. Okay. Which, listen, to me, picks 1 and 2 are kind of sealed up. I think it's going to be Lawrence and the Zach Wilson kid. I know we're going to touch on the draft in a little bit, but you have an opportunity as the Falcons to add such a big, important piece to go next to Julio Jones, and you absolutely pissed yourself, and you got to trade him away because you don't have enough cap space. It's unbelievable. And really, it boils down to the ownership, and there's nobody to blame, in my opinion, other than Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons. It starts with him. Don't blame the GM. Don't blame it starts with Arthur Blank. So he's got to look himself in the mirror, and he has to be okay with trading Julio Jones because he has no choice.
Well said. You want to adjust you want to look at Adam Purdy's comment and address that?
So, yes. So Purdy, I love you to pieces. Childhood, very, very, very close friend of mine. But listen, I don't think Purdy and I lost a 2-on-2 basketball game, by the way, since all throughout elementary. I don't think we lost a single one. But Purdy, this is where you and I are going to respectfully have to disagree on something. Matt Stafford, listen, they maybe get a win or two better with Matthew Stafford. Maybe. You have to understand that Matthew Stafford, yes, can he throw a lot of touchdown passes? Can he throw for 400 yards in a game? That's fine. But you are uprooting him from his town, from his city, from Detroit in a system. Now, again, I know he had a bunch of different offense coordinators, but you are moving his entire mindset to Los Angeles, and you're expecting him to just pick everything up and just run with it like it's going to be second nature. There are going to be some struggles. There are going to be some hiccups. I don't even think, I'm going to say this right now, I know it's super, super early. I don't even think the Rams win their own division. I still think Seattle is a front runner. I think Arizona is a super, super sleeper team. I think they win 10, 11 games, this coming season. So to just blindly think that just because you add Matthew Stafford to the Rams, that he's going to win them a Super Bowl? I mean, let's focus on maybe winning the division, maybe winning a playoff game, maybe do some of that before we focus on a Super Bowl. But I know Purdy is a huge Stafford guy, and I get it. That's fine. That's your dude. But I would almost venture to put money with anybody that they're not going to win it. I bet again, I don't think they even win the division.
We'll leave it at that. Let's talk about the NFL draft preview, which is coming up this Wednesday on this Wednesday's stream, only on the official Gin Pros live stream. So look forward to that. We're going to have a full 45-minute to an hour stream just on the draft. So the draft is going to be one of our only topics. Might throw a couple more in there, but they're not going to venture too far away from the NFL draft. And we're going to be looking at a lot of different teams. We're not going to get too much. Maybe we can give a little bit of insight right now on tonight's stream, but we're going to really dive deep into it on Wednesday. So, Tone, do you want to tell them anything right now about it, just kind of going into Wednesday? Or
yeah.
do you want to? Okay.
So I think some teams to watch. Obviously, the biggest team that I'm going to be watching, that I'm going to be interested in, are the 49ers. They obviously had a super, super aggressive trade to move up to the 3 spot in the draft, swapping picks with the Dolphins. I think that's such an important pick just because everyone is thinking quarterback. I think if you're that aggressive and move that far up in the draft, I think their mindset is quarterback. But I'm really curious as to see who it is. I know a lot of people are talking Mac Jones. To me, if Justin Fields is available at 3 and they don't take Justin Fields, Kyle Shanahan should just start packing his house up and move, because he's going to be fired in 2 years when this Mac Jones project doesn't work. Another team, believe it or not, that I think we should pay attention to are the Lions. I know they're looking to shop that number 7 pick to move back in the draft, maybe pick up another first round and maybe have 2, possibly, again, 2 draft picks, whatever they're going to get in the first round for that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting draft. Obviously, it's going to be super quarterback heavy. So that tickles me. That tickles me in the shorts. That's going to be a super quarterback heavy draft. But I think this is the one draft that actually rounds 2, 3, and 4 are going to be just as important as round 1. It's a super, super dense and deep draft. There are going to be pass catchers that are going to be taken in rounds 2 and 3. That you're going to see, making Pro Bowls. There are going to be defensive backs and linemen that are taken in rounds 2 and 3 that you're going to see make Pro Bowls. So it's a super deep draft, and I'm actually really looking forward to diving really deep into it with you guys on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to Wednesday. Obviously, it's going to be very quarterback heavy, quarterback dense. We noticed that even going into the trade deadline about a month ago, where we've seen a lot of quarterback swapping teams, a couple that we've mentioned, obviously Jared Goff and Stafford. And then you got, Fitzpatrick. There's a lot of different quarterbacks that are swapping places. Some of them are retiring. Some of them are re-signing. But it's changing the entire landscape. And this draft class will only add another sprinkle of pizzazz into that entire scheme. So we're looking forward to that. And it's going to be a very interesting season this year with all these quarterback changes and additions. So we're excited. We'll move on now, talk about the Corona Cup 3.0. So this is something that's been a lot of controversy surrounding this topic. The franchise the Corona franchise of events has actually came to me, and they've been wanting to do this for a while. We were kind of shying away from it. We didn't want to go public with it just because we had so many other events planned, and we were working with them with a lot of other stuff. But they worked a really hard game, and they did what they had to do to get our voices heard. And they spoke and we listened. So pretty much how it works is they tell us to jump. We ask them how high. So And then, so it's a funny process. So you guys wouldn't understand unless you're involved. But the Corona Cup 3.0 is happening May 15th, 2021. Really exciting stuff. So it's going to go back to Ironwood. And there's been a lot of, trash talking, I guess, for lack of a more intense word, since this is a kid show. We'll leave it at trash talking. A lot of stuff has been said. A lot of propositions have been made. Side bets have even been proposed. So, Tone, let me ask you this just right now in front of millions in the arena. How are we feeling going into the Corona Cup 3.0?
Oh, I feel great. I listen, this is something I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for my opportunity again. My partner and myself, Little Bink, kind of pissed ourselves on the back nine in the first ever Corona Cup. We were we were a putt away. We were literally probably a 6-foot putt away from hoisting the cup and being the first ever champs. Didn't happen though. It didn't happen. But to say that hasn't kept me up at night, I'd be lying to you guys. So Bink's right. There's been a lot of trash talking. Unfortunately, not so much trash talking on Bink's partner's behalf. He kind of just avoids it, and I don't know if that's him trying to stay mentally sharp or what. A lot of it's between Little Bink and I, and towards John, he fires it back at us. The group chat's absolutely blowing up the entire day. Can't read you half the stuff that's been in there because Mama Bink and Doris would absolutely disown us if they saw half the stuff. But it's going to be a great competition. Cameras are going to be flowing or rolling, and I'm actually more excited than I want to admit for this one because this one hits close to home.
Yeah, so I'm actually trying to find a picture here for you just to kind of rejuvenate our memories a little bit. Nothing that's really too personal or anything like that. Nothing that really matters, but I just want to show you guys an image. So this image, I look at this picture almost every day. Okay. And it just reminds me of the greatness that I'm capable of, and that Pfeiffer and I are capable of. And when we step on the course, when we step on the pitch on that first tee, there's so much blood flowing. Blood is flowing all over the place, and there's just a lot of tenacity. There's a lot of tenseness in the air. People like Tony and Sam, they like to kind of try to eliminate a lot of that stress by chirping me and talking trash, doing what they got to do, and they got to do what they got to do. They know a lot of pressure's on them, and that I think helps them alleviate some of that pressure. But when I feed back into it, when I chirp them back or I entertain them and I show them that their chirping is really not getting to me at all, I feel like it takes some of the luster away from it, and in essence adds more pressure to them in their golf game. So just stuff to keep in mind. It's just a game of golf. There's cameras everywhere. The galleries are packed, even with COVID regulations and everything going on. But you got to rise above it, and you just have to look at the task at hand and really just compete. You just have to compete.
So. That picture. Listen, guys. They earned it. They earned that. They flat out won that. Now I do believe the Corona Series. They have reached out to us. The panel, the board, the committee. We have committees that we work with. They have reached out to us in regards to a press conference leading up to the Cup. I will say yes, I will be there only if John says he will be there, just so we can get kind of the two captains of the team there for a live press conference for you guys. I know ESPN. There's going to be there were thousands of people at this event last year. Thousands. We almost didn't have enough stadium seating for this event. So hopefully, Ironwood, learns their lesson from last year that we bring the house and they have more seating for the people. Hopefully more tickets. I don't know when tickets are going to go on sale. I'm sure soon. But yeah, so we're super excited to bring this back for you guys. This was the first event that we ever did. This was it. This was it. So it's exciting to be able to kind of step back in time and bring this to you guys again.
It's a little bit nostalgic, it brings us back to our roots a little bit. And, we're really excited to put this event on again and bring something back that really worked for us early on in the entire event planning process. And you think about it, this wasn't too far after the rebirth of Gym Pros. So this is a very fresh event. And this cup that I'm holding in this picture with the Coronas in there, that cup will be on the line again this year. So we're turning and this is a long meeting that we go through deliberations probably for 2-3 hours with higher ups over at the Corona franchise of events, deciding whether we should get another cup or we should just keep this same cup and make it into a Stanley Cup-esque event where it's more or less something that gets traded and something that changes hands depending on who the victors are. So they want to make it similar to how the Corona Challenge is with the jackets. So the jackets, how they work, you win the tournament and then you take those jackets home. You have your name stitched in there with the year of the event that it took place. But if you lose those jackets, you're fighting for those same jackets the next year. So that's something that's very important. And it sounds like that the Corona Cup will be treated the same way. And I responded positively to this after, the deliberations and the meetings and stuff, the Zoom calls. But the biggest reason that I did that is because I'm running out of space on my ledge for hardware. So I had to make decisions and cut ties where I had to. So hard decision to make, but I think it was for the best. Anything else you want to say about this, Tone, before because we're gonna have a presser, we're gonna have we're gonna have a media day, and it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be intense. Listen, emotions are gonna be flaring. They're gonna be firing on all cylinders. I'm excited, man.
Bink and I may not talk to each other 48 hours leading up to the event. That's how serious this is. I don't think people realize how serious this is. And obviously us here at Gym Pros, we're going to give you all the media access to the athletes that you could ever imagine, probably more so than we should, but we're going to. We want you guys to see the emotions. We want you guys to see the heartbreak, regardless of what side it's going to be on. And just get ready, buckle up, and get ready for one hell of an event.
Yes, sir. So look forward for tickets to go on sale probably within the next week or so, just because they're going to sell out very fast, probably within the first 20 seconds of them being on. They're going to sell out very fast. Tickets and space is limited, and odds will come out probably soon after that. So look forward to those odds. Those will be on Bovada. They'll be on MGM. They'll be on DraftKings, FanDuel, all that. Whatever your betting service is, those odds will be on there. So choose wisely. I guess, do you have any odds predictions for both pairings, Tone? I'll get mine after.
So it's going to be a one-day event. It's not a weekend tourney. It's going to be a one-day event, winner take all. I'm sure the purse is going to be pretty high too. But I imagine, obviously, John and Pfeiffer, being the defending champs, are going to be favorites, which is fine. I imagine they come in probably anywhere from around, because again, golf's different. You don't see a lot of minuses until they're late in rounds. I imagine John and Pife come in probably around the plus 500 mark. I imagine Sam and I probably come in plus 1,500 to 2,000, kind of around there. Listen, we haven't won one of these yet. All the pressure is really on me and Sam. All the pressure is on us. We have not won one of these yet. We have not hoisted the trophy, and this is our third go around at it. Obviously, we want to bring it home for the people. Okay, we want to bring it home for the people who are in Team John or Team Tony and Sam's corner. So that's kind of what I think the odds will open up at.
Yeah, I can't really make a prediction. Obviously, Pfeiffer and I will be the favorites, but you got to consider the tournament too. How close was it in the first event? Very close. It came down to one hole, and there was a 2-stroke swing on both 17 and 18. So to notice that, just at face value is quite astonishing. If you think about it, go back and watch our first video on our YouTube channel, The Corona Cup. And you can watch the last like 10, 15 minutes of it. Probably just the last 10 minutes should be good. If you go back and watch that video on our YouTube channel, just follow our link tree. You can find it on our YouTube. But that's where the whole match was decided, because there's a lot of deciding holes. There were some big shots that were made from both teams to really come in clutch and the highest pressure moments ever. So go back and watch that for a little bit of a revival and a refresher. But I think that they're going to be tighter than you would imagine. Now, I don't have any control over those odds, how they're made. I know there's communications between Vegas and the Corona franchise of events, but as far as the odds go, I'm completely hands off. I have no insight until they come out and they're released publicly. So I guess we'll find out. I think the franchise said that those will be released on May 5th. So May 5th, look forward to those odds coming out. And I might be placing some bets myself. So look forward to that. We'll have an entire process going into the week prior of the event. So really exciting stuff, guys. And it's coming back to our roots a little bit, and we couldn't be more excited. Tony, we got any updates for the people? I know we talked about a lot of stuff yesterday. Anything pertinent to this week?
So Wednesday is going to be kind of a big live stream. Obviously, it is our draft preview. Gin and Tonic for me will be released tomorrow. Binkers has his on Thursday. Updates. I'm trying to think. What else? Am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not.
I think
maybe I'm not.
We can talk about so we're going to be talking about the beer dye tournament. There might be one in May, the week following the Corona Cup 3.0. Possibly. It's still up in the air. Invites will be sent out tomorrow to all the teams, inviting them to return. And if there's any teams that did not participate in the first one, they'll have an opportunity to participate in this one. So keep your inboxes open. Keep your eyes on our social media website, all that stuff. It's going to be posted on there. Other than that, get registered for the Corona Cup. There's still spots open. We're letting them in on a limited basis. People have been flooding my inbox, communicating with me if the tournament's still open. I've been picking and choosing who I want to respond to. So if you really want to get involved in the tournament, send me like 20 DMs, and I'll probably see it and get back to you. But I really want as many people to play as we can as the course can allow. So get at me or Tony regarding that, and we'll get you some information on that if there's spots still available by the time you get a hold of us. So we really want you guys to play in it, even though, we talked about it on yesterday's stream, how we're not super pleased that you're getting at us a little late, but better late than never. That's what I always say. So let us know if you want to play in the Corona Challenge coming June 19th. I almost said May 19th. June 19th is the date of that. That remains unchanged, and that will remain unchanged as far as I'm concerned. So look forward to that, and that's all I really got.
Yeah, nailed it.
Tony, closing remarks?
Guys, remember, moderation will always be for cowards. Life is way too short to take the under. Always smash the over. Bet with your head, not your heart. Don't be emotional like I am. And always bet with Jim.
Thanks again, guys. Have a great night.